Hello, mighty companions. 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 This is Earl Purdy, and I am on the road. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. 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 This is Earl Purdy. Welcome to Facebook Live. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm just waiting for everybody to get here. All my mighty companions to join me. And then we're going to go deep today. We're going to go really, really deep today. We're going to have fun. I can't believe it. John, hello, Rebecca, Patty, everybody that's coming in. I'm going to have this statement that I'm going to say over and over again while everybody's coming in. Okay? This is it. Listen to this. You are sustained by the love of God. 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 Earl, you are sustained by the love of God. Raj, you are sustained by the love of God. Mighty companion, you are sustained by the love of God. You are sustained by the love of God. Now I'm going to kind of chant it a minute, see if I can get a little funk and soul feeling into it. You are sustained by the love of God. 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 God's love sustains you. You are taken care of. You are sustained by the love of God. Welcome to A Course in Miracles on Facebook Live with Earl Purdy. And I want to tell you, you are sustained by the love of the Creator. You are sustained by the love of the Creator. You are sustained. You are sustained by the love of the Creator. Welcome, mighty companions. You are sustained by the love of God. We are the love of God sustainers. That's right, Sophia. Welcome to the Course of Love. Not Course of Love, Course in Miracles. Tonight we're going to be... So let's all send each other some hearts right now. Would you send a bunch of hearts across the screen to kind of greet each other in love and in hearts? That would be so cool. That is awesome. That is awesome, 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 awesome. I love you all. We're going to do a section called Setting the Goal. Setting the Goal. Setting the Goal. In chapter 17, in A Course in Miracles, the Foundation for Inner Peace version is called Setting the Goal. I'm looking at it on my Amazon Fire, so I don't have my book with me. I'm out of town right now visiting my family for the weekend, and it's been the most miraculous trip that I've ever experienced to visit my family. The level of love and communication and joining, especially with my son and daughter, was beyond anything I could have possibly imagined. I watched my granddaughter do her first piano recital, right? And she's 6 years old, and she's only been playing piano 3 weeks. So I saw her do her first recital, and she's just 6 years old, and she's been playing piano for 3 weeks. I mean, 3 weeks. And then when I came into my son's house, she took me to the piano to hear a song she had composed, and it sounded great. So that was like a trip. So it's been so much love, so much joining with my sisters, and I love all these different parts of myself, just like I love you. And that was my goal. I came here with the goal of being a conduit for love to my family, to practice having a healed relationship with my family. So this section called Setting the Goal. Let's read the first paragraph. It says, the practical application of the Holy Spirit's purpose is extremely simple, but it's unequivocal. In fact, in order to be simple, it must be unequivocal. For something to be simple, what does it have to be? Well, it has to be unequivocal. And the application of God's purpose is extremely simple. So anything that's coming from love is something that's simple to do. The Holy Spirit is your loving right mind. So anything that's coming from your loving right mind, the Holy Spirit, should be simple. It should be simple. If it's coming from your loving right mind, it's going to be simple. What's the simple? The Course says the simple is merely what is easily understood. So something being simple should be something that's easily understood. And if something's going to be easily understood, it must be clear. So if you're going to get the Course has to be easily understood, and the Course has to be simple, and the Course has to be clear. Easily understood, simple, and clear. You should communicate in a way that's easily understood, simple, and clear. So my goal in sharing the Course in Miracles with you today is to present the Course to you in a way that's easily understood, simple, and clear. Now we're going to set the Holy Spirit's goal generally. It says the setting of the Holy Spirit's goal is general. So we're gonna say, you know what? I have the goal to be loving toward everyone. I'm going to make the goal general. Now it says the Holy Spirit, your higher self, your real self, the Holy Spirit, the God in you, the God in you. It says the Holy Spirit will work with you to make the goal specific, because application is specific. So I'm going to love. I have the goal to be loving. I have the goal to love all of you. That's the general setting of the goal. Then it says that now I need to make it specific. Now I need to start applying the goal of love and truth specifically. That means in my relationship with you, I'm going to apply the truth that I'm learning specifically to you. I'm talking to you, mighty companion. I want to love you, but that's a general goal of my loving right mind. Now I have to make it specific by actually applying all of these loving truth principles that I'm learning to you, to my life, to my car, to my thoughts, to my feelings. I have to start making the goal of God and the goal of peace and the goal of love specific. He says there are certain very specific guidelines that love provides for any situation. So God has very specific guidelines for the situation that you're in right now. You know the situation I'm talking about. That situation that you're in right now, there are specific guidelines that the Holy Spirit is going to give you for how to deal with that situation. So I want you to think about that. But remember, you don't realize how to apply the truth in every situation. You don't realize how to apply the truth in every situation. So it's essential that you start using the truth in each situation separately. So what did you just say? Earl, you don't know how to apply the truth to every situation. You don't know how to apply the Course to every situation. So it's essential right now that you use this truth that you're hearing in each of your separate relationships, in each of your separate situations. You're going to apply these truths when it comes to setting the goal. So what do? You're going to keep applying the truth to every situation, and you're going to keep applying the truth to every person until you can safely look beyond the situation. You're going to use it in every situation until you can look beyond the situation. I'm going to apply love and truth to every situation until I can look beyond the situation. Look beyond the situation with an understanding. What kind of understanding do you need? You need to have an understanding that's far broader than you now possess. So what is our goal? For you to have an understanding that's a lot greater than the understanding that you have right now. So how do you do that? You start applying the Course in Miracles and what you're studying to each situation in your life separately, because you're not at the point yet that you can apply to every situation at the same time. So what do? In any situation in which you are uncertain, in any situation where you are uncertain, in any situation in which you are uncertain, if you're in any situation that you have some doubt in, the first thing you need to consider, if you're in a situation right now, I'll be right back, I'm going to close the door. If you're in any situation that you have some doubt in, if you're in any situation that you have some doubt in right now, very simply, the first thing for you to consider is, what do you want to come of this situation that you're in right now? What do you want to come out of this situation that you're in right now? What is this situation that you're in right now for? What's the purpose of this relationship that you're in? What's the purpose of this situation that you're in? What do you want to come out of it? What do you want to happen? What do you want to come out of it? That's the first thing that you should be considering in any situation that you have any kind of fear and any kind of doubt. In any situation that you have any kind of fear and any kind of doubt, what you should be doing is asking yourself, what do I want to come out of this? What do I want to happen? What do I want to happen in this situation? I'm afraid, I'm upset, I have some doubt. What do I want to come of this situation? What is this situation for? What am I going through this for? What am I going through this for? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning. The first thing you need to do is clarify your goal, Raj. The first thing you need to do is clarify your goal, Earl. The first thing you need to do, mighty companion, the first thing you need to do is clarify your goal. How do you clarify your goal? The way that you clarify your goal is to say to yourself, what do I want to come out of this? What is it for? What am I going through this for? I'm in this situation that I'm uncertain. I'm in a situation that I'm full of doubt. The first thing I need to consider is, what do I want to come of it? What do I think it's for? Because I need to clarify my goals at the very beginning. And why does a person need to clarify their goal at the very beginning? A person needs to clarify their goal at the very beginning because it's the goal that's going to determine how things turn out. Whatever your goal is, whatever your purpose is in any situation, that's what determines how it turns out. If you want to know how something is going to turn out, it's going to turn out according to your goal and your purpose in the situation. So you need to ask yourself, what is this for? What is this purpose? What is it? What's the purpose of this? What am I doing this for? What's the purpose? Why? Because the goal is going to determine the outcome. Being certain about what your purpose is going to determine how things turn out. Knowing what your purpose is will tell you how things are going to ultimately turn out. Now, in the procedure of the person who really doesn't recognize the truth, a person who has a mind that's full of fear or anger or guilt, the Course says in the ego's procedure, this is reversed. What does that mean? Well, it means that the situation becomes the determinant of the outcome. And you in situations that look like the outcome can be anything. You think that you just happen to be in the situation that you're in right now. And that's a very disorganized approach, to think you just happen to be in this situation or relationship, and then you just happen to be in this situation or relationship, and then you just happen to be in this situation now in this relationship, and you just happen to be in this situation. That is absolutely the incorrect way to deal with a situation. That's not the correct way to deal with a situation, is thinking that situations just happen, that things just happen to you. That's what the Course in Miracles calls a disorganized approach. And then it says the ego doesn't know what it wants to come of the situation. A person that's full of fear, anger, and separation. A person that thinks that they are a body. A person that thinks that they are a body. A person that thinks that they are separate. A person that thinks that they are afraid. A person that thinks that they are full of guilt and fear. The Course in Miracles says that's a person who doesn't know what they want to happen. You know, if a person that doesn't know the truth is a person that doesn't know what they want to happen. They're just aware of what they don't want. And they're only aware of what they don't want. So a person that has a frightened mind doesn't have a positive goal at all. A person that's asleep, a person that's unaware, is just a person that's aware of what they don't want. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want to go to that restaurant. I don't want to eat that food. I don't want. I don't want. I don't want. So a fear-based, unaware person constantly is constantly telling what they don't want, saying what they don't want. They're only aware of what they don't want. They don't know what they want. A fear-based asleep person doesn't know what they want. They don't have a positive goal at all. A love-based person is asking themselves, what is the purpose? What do I want? And then I'm going to apply this truth and this love to every person and every situation that I go into. I'm going to apply this truth very specifically because I know my goal is going to determine the outcome. A fear-based, unaware person, that's a person that just sees themselves as being in situations that just seem to happen, and they think the situation that they're in is determining the outcome, and they're in situations that it looks like the outcome could be anything. And a fear-based person, an asleep person, doesn't know what they want to come out of in the situation. They're just aware of what they don't want. They don't have a positive goal at all. So the Course in Miracles is trying to teach us how to tell the difference between a fear-based mind and a love-based mind. The Course in Miracles is trying to teach us how to tell the difference between truth and illusion, love and fear, what's real from what's not. The Course in Miracles is trying to teach you the difference between what's real and what's not. The purpose of the Course in Miracles is to teach you how to tell the difference between what's the truth and what's the lie. The Course in Miracles is trying to teach you how to tell the difference between something that's truly innocent and something that's truly guilty. The Course in Miracles is trying to help us get clear about what freedom is and what limitation is. So it says in chapter 17, paragraph 6, it says, without a clear-cut positive goal set at the outset, the situation just seems to happen. If you don't have a positive goal that you set at the very beginning, then situations are just going to seem to happen to you. If you don't have a positive goal set at the beginning, situations are just going to seem to happen to you. And it will look like these situations that seem to happen to you don't make any sense until it's already happened. It's like you always having things happen to you, and it looks like it doesn't make any sense until something has already happened. So then when something has happened, you look back at it. You didn't have a positive goal. You look back at it and you try to piece together what it must have meant. So most of the day I'm trying to piece together what everything that happens to me means. Most of the time during the day there's a part of my mind that's trying to piece together and understand what everything that is happening to me, what does it mean? Everything that's going on in my life, what does it mean? Why am I going through this? There's a part of me, since it doesn't have a clear-cut positive goal set at the beginning, that part of me, it's always in situations that just seem like they happen to me and don't make any sense until they've already happened. And then I try to look back on the situation and figure out what it meant. And he says, you're going to do this when you look back at it and you try to piece together what that situation must have meant, that you will be wrong. You will be wrong. When you try to look back at what's already happened and you didn't really have any kind of goal or purpose before it happened, then when you try to figure out what it means, you will be wrong. Why would you be wrong? Well, not only is your judgment in the past, but you didn't have any idea what should have happened in the first place. First, you're looking back at something that's already happened, trying to figure it out, and then you didn't even know what was supposed to happen to begin with. I didn't even know what was supposed to happen to begin with. Something has happened to me. Now I'm looking back on it, trying to piece together what it meant. And he says, well, Purdy, you will be wrong because you didn't have any idea of what should have happened in the first place. So how can you judge the situation when you didn't have a clear-cut positive goal about what should be happening in the first place? You didn't have any goal that was set in which to bring the means in line. You didn't have a goal set to bring the way to accomplish it in line. So now as you look back at the stuff that's happened to you, the only judgment that that's left to make is, do I like it? Does my ego like what's happened to me? this thing that just happened to me, is it acceptable? Or does the thing that just happened to me call for some vengeance? I need to get somebody straight. I need to get somebody back. When you don't have a goal, when you don't have a criterion for outcome, when you don't have a goal set in advance, he says it makes understanding doubtful and evaluation impossible. So it's impossible to evaluate what's going on if you didn't have a goal or a purpose. If you don't have a goal or a purpose, it's impossible to evaluate what's going on in your life. If you don't have a goal or a purpose, it becomes impossible to correctly evaluate what's going on in your life right now. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have an idea of what you want, then you cannot evaluate correctly about any situation or circumstance you're in, according to the Course in Miracles, that it makes understanding doubtful if you don't have a goal. If my goal is to love you, and if my goal is to be peaceful to you, yet I want to smack you upside the head, then that obviously means that that's not the appropriate response. Why? Because I have a goal, and since I have a goal, it's possible for me to evaluate the situation better. Which is, if I want to give you love, then giving you fear and attack would not be the correct thing to do. And so I would judge against that and not do it. Why? Because I have a goal to be peaceful. So what is the value of deciding in advance what you want to happen? What's the advantage of deciding in advance what you want to experience? What is the advantage in deciding what you want to experience? The value of deciding in advance what you want to happen. The value of deciding what you want to happen. The value of deciding what you want to happen is simply that you will see every situation that you're in as a way to make what you want happen. Every situation that you're in is just another opportunity for you to make what you want to happen. Any situation that you're in all day long is just another situation that you can achieve your goal in. It's just another situation where you can make what you want to happen. So how do you make what you want to happen? How do you make what you want to happen? The Course in Miracles is about to share with us how you can make what you want to happen. So listen very carefully. It says, you will therefore make every effort to overlook what interferes with your objective, and you would concentrate on everything that helps you meet your objective. What do you do to make what you want to happen? You concentrate on everything that helps you meet your goal. You concentrate on what? You concentrate on everything that would help you meet your goal. That's how you make whatever you want to happen. You concentrate upon what? You concentrate upon everything that helps you. Concentrate on everyone that helps you. Concentrate on everyone that helps you, Earl. Concentrate on everyone that helps you. Concentrate on everything that helps you meet your goal. Concentrate on every person that helps you meet your goal. If your goal is to have love in your life, if your goal is to have happiness in your joy and joy in your life, you concentrate on everything and everybody that helps you meet that goal. You would concentrate on everyone that you do have a joyful experience with. You would concentrate on everything that does give you peace. You would concentrate on every person that you laugh a lot with and you feel safe with. Why? Because if I'm going to make what I want to happen, if I'm going to have the kind of love that I want to happen in my life, and the kind of fun and the kind of peace and the kind of unity and the kind of connection, then I need to concentrate on the people and everything that helps me achieve that goal. And that's certainly not somebody that I'm always in conflict and fear and attack with. That is not somebody that I'm always upset with and mad at all the time. That would not be the person that I should be concentrating on, or the thing I should be concentrating on. I should be concentrating on everything and everybody that helps me meet my goal. How do you do that? You make every effort to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your objective. It says, you will therefore make every effort to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your objective. You would make every effort To overlook. Overlook. Another term for overlook is forgive. The Course says to forgive is to overlook. So what do? You make every effort to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your objective. You got to learn how to overlook what interferes with your goal. You must make every effort to overlook what interferes with the accomplishment of your goal. Overlook everything that keeps you from accomplishing your goal and concentrate on everything that helps you meet your goal. Overlook everything that interferes with the accomplishment of your goal. Concentrate on everything that helps you meet your goal. Make every effort to overlook what interferes with your goal and concentrate on everything and everyone that helps you meet your goal. That's how you make what you want to happen, happen. How do you make what you want to happen, happen? You make what you want to happen, happen by making every effort to overlook what interferes with your goal and concentrating on everything that helps you meet your goal. Now, it's quite noticeable that this approach has brought you closer to the Holy Spirit sorting out of truth and falsity. This approach, what approach? Making every effort to overlook what interferes with the goal and concentrating on everything that helps you meet your goal. This brings you closer to God's way of sorting out what's true and from what's false. This is how you get closer to love's way of sorting out what's true from what's false. You overlook what helps you accomplish. You overlook what interferes with your goal, and you concentrate on everything that helps you meet your goal. So what do you call true? So what would you call true from this point on? Don't forget to listen to this over and over and over and over and over again, because you'll hear something different every time that you listen to it. So what is it that you should now be calling true? What is it that you should be calling true? The Course in Miracles says the true becomes what can be used to meet the goal. So whatever helps you meet your goal, that should be classified as what's true. What's true is that which helps you meet your goal. Anything that you can use to meet your goal, that's what's true. That's what's truly valuable. What you should be calling the false is anything that is useless to you in helping you reach your goal. If I have the goal of peace, then whatever I'm doing to keep the peace, that is something that's true in my life. Whatever I'm using to get rid of my peace, that is what's false in my life. What's not real in my life is the thing that keeps me in conflict and fear all the time. Anything or anybody that I'm using to keep myself in conflict and fear all the time, that is a false relationship. A false relationship is a relationship which is not helping you achieve your goal. A false relationship is a relationship that's not helping you meet your goal. A false relationship is a relationship that's not helping you meet your goal. A true relationship or a true situation is anything that's helping you reach your goal, anything that's helping you meet your goal. The situation now has meaning. So why is the relationship you're in meaningful now? Why is the relationship that you're in meaningful now? It's because your goal is what makes the relationship meaningful. If I'm in a relationship with you and my goal is to have peace and harmony and love with you, now I know what the meaning of the relationship is. Now the relationship has meaning to me because the relationship can help me meet my goal. But if I want peace and love and harmony, and all we're choosing to experience with each other is conflict, fear, anger, and attack, then that relationship has no meaning, because that relationship is not helping me reach my goal, because we were just told that what's true is what helps you meet your goal, what's false is something that's useless in helping you reach your goal. If your goal is abundance, then focusing in on every lack that you have is useless. It's not helping you meet your goal. So, let's see here. Shirley says, fear is useless to me. And Myrna says, love is my goal. Oh. And Shirley says, focusing on love. Love is my goal. Oh. Kathy says, make every effort to overlook what interferes with your goal. Absolutely. Anything that keeps me in conflict or fear is not true and has no meaning. That's right. Kathy says, love you, Earl. I love you too, Kathy. And that kisses for every one of you, men included. Christopher says, those that are against you may be for you. love, and it will happen. Love, and it will happen. Kathy says, focus on everything and everyone that helps you experience love, joy, and peace, because I want to live really and totally, fully. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Thank you for sharing. Don't forget to share this video. Just because the more you share this video, the more people get a chance to check it out. Comment, like, and share while we are here together. Because I'm doing it live, even though I'm even in Memphis and not in my regular class. I'm doing it live because you're important to me, and the time we spend together is important to me, because live we get a chance to feel each other and interact with each other in real time, and that is awesome. So let me go a bit further in this section. Okay, here we go. Hello, Elizabeth. Okay, the goal of truth has further practical advantages. There are further practical advantages to having the goal of love and truth. There are further practical advantages to having the goal of being more loving. If the situation is used for truth and sanity, the situation's outcome must be peace. If the situation is used for truth and sanity, if you use any situation that you're in for sanity, if you use any situation that you're in for sanity, if you use any relationship that you're in for sanity, you can tell when you're using a relationship to become more sane. Because when you're using a relationship to become more sane, the outcome must be peace. You're going to have peace in the situation that you're using for sanity. You're going to have peace in a relationship that you're using to become more sane. You're going to have peace in any situation that you're using to become more sane. And that's quite apart from what the outcome is. One of the conditions of truth and sanity, how you can tell when you are experiencing truth and sanity, is you will have peace. When you are centered in truth, when you are centered in sanity, you will know that because you will have peace, Earl. You know when you're being sane, because when you're being sane, you feel good. When you're being sane, you feel peaceful. There cannot be any peace where there is not truth. There cannot be any peace where there is not truth. There cannot be any peace where there is not truth and sanity. Okay, so if you are not experiencing peace right now, you're not in truth right now and sanity right now. You're not in truth and sanity in whatever area you are feeling conflict and fear. Where you are experiencing conflict and fear is where you are not centered in sanity and peace. Truth will come to you of itself when you are sane and peaceful. A sane and peaceful person draws the truth to them. A sane and peaceful person draws the truth to them. So if you experience peace, if you are experiencing peace, it means the truth has come to you. Where you are experiencing total peace, that's where the truth has come to you. Wherever you are experiencing peace, whoever you are experiencing peace with, that's where the truth has come to both of you. You know you're in a relationship or situation that the truth is there, because it will be where you experience peace. How do you see how something is going to turn out correctly? How do you see how something is going to turn out correctly? The Course in Miracles says, if you experience peace, it's because the truth has come to you. And so you will see the outcome, and you will see the outcome truly. Why will you see the outcome correctly when the truth has come to you? Because if you know the truth, deception cannot prevail against you. You cannot be deceived. You cannot be deceived when the truth comes to you and you experience peace. The more peaceful you are, the more clearly you can see what's going on. The more peaceful you are, the more clearly you can see how things are going to turn out. Deception cannot win over you when you are in peace. You're going to recognize the outcome. Why will you recognize the outcome? You're going to recognize the outcome because you are at peace. I'm so deeply centered in peace that I can see how everything is going to turn out in my life. When I am centered in true peace, I will be able to see how everything is going to turn out in my life. I will be seeing everybody and everything correctly. You'll be seeing everything and everybody with love. When you really have true peace, you will not be able to be fooled. When you have true peace, nobody can deceive you. Here again, you see the opposite of the ego's way of looking at things. Right here, you're seeing the opposite of the way a frightened man sees things. Because frightened minds, the ego mind, believes the situation brings the experience, but the loving mind, the Holy Spirit, knows that the situation is as the goal determines it. If you have a loving mind, if you have a sane mind, if you have a truth mind, you always know that your goal and purpose is determining the situation you're in. And when you're in a totally loving, peaceful, sane mind, you also recognize that you are experiencing this situation according to the goal. I am experiencing in this situation exactly what I want to experience in this situation. And in the situation that I'm in right now, I'm experiencing exactly what I want to experience in that situation. In the situation that I'm in right now, I'm experiencing exactly what I want to receive in every situation in my life. I am experiencing exactly what I want to receive in every situation in my life. I am experiencing exactly what I want to receive in every situation in my life. That's what my loving mind would say to me. My loving mind would say to me. My sane mind would say to me. My truth mind would say to me, in this situation that I'm in right now, in this situation that I'm in right now, I'm experiencing exactly what I want to experience in every situation in my life. No matter what it looks like, I'm experiencing exactly what I want to experience in every situation in my life. No matter what it looks like, I'm experiencing in every situation in my life exactly what I want to experience in that situation. No matter what I'm feeling right now, I'm experiencing exactly what I want to experience out of every situation and in every situation in my life. That's what the loving mind would say. The loving mind would say the situation is as the goal determines it. The Holy Spirit would say the situation that you're in is as the goal determines the situation that you're in, and the situation that you're in is being experienced according to the goal. Your fear-based mind, the insane mind, the mind that doesn't know the truth, it's going to say, I'm in this situation, it just happened, and it's causing me to go through what I'm going through. I'm going through what I'm going through because the situation just happened to me. The fear-based mind, the mind that doesn't recognize the truth, the mind that doesn't recognize the truth, the part of your mind that doesn't know the truth is going to say, this situation just happened to me. This situation just happened to me. That relationship just happened to me. Things are always just happening to me. The asleep mind, the unaware mind, that's really cute, it always says, this has just happened to me. I didn't have anything to do with it. This situation just happened to me. I didn't have anything to do with it. This situation is just happening to me. That is what the insane mind says. That's what the mind says that doesn't know the truth. But the loving mind, it says the Holy Spirit, that's your loving right mind. It says the loving right mind knows that the situation is as the goal determines it. The loving mind knows that I'm in this situation because at some level my goal determined it, and I'm going through this right now because it's being experienced according to my goal. So if you're going to have the goal of the truth, if you're going to have the goal of love, if you're going to have the goal of knowing the truth, then that's going to require faith. If you're going to do this, it's going to require faith. If you're going to do this, if you're going to go for the goal of truth, if you're going to go for the goal of real love, if you're going to go for the goal of real abundance, if you're going to go for the goal of God, if you're going to go for the goal of God, mighty companion, if you're going to go for the goal of God, if your goal is God and you're going for the goal of God, then it's going to require faith. The goal of God requires faith. The goal of God requires faith. I'll say it again. The goal of God The goal of God requires faith. The goal of truth requires faith. So if you're with me, it says the goal of truth requires faith. Let's see. It says the goal of truth requires faith. Faith is implicit in the acceptance of the Holy Spirit's purpose. If I'm going to accept the purpose of love, then I've got to have faith. And this faith is all-inclusive. So what is all-inclusive faith? What is all-inclusive faith? All-inclusive faith is faith that includes everyone. I'm not going to leave anyone. I'm not going to leave anyone or anything out. What does that mean? It means that the love in you, the truth in you, where the goal of truth is set, their faith must be where the goal of truth is set. Your faith has got to be in the goal. Your faith has to be, you set the goal of truth, your faith must be in the goal of truth. My faith has to be in my goal. Rather than me so much focusing on having faith in you, I need to have faith in my purpose with you. See, my faith is in my purpose for meeting with you right now. It's the goal of God, the goal of love, the goal of sanity, the goal of truth, and the goal of waking up, which is all the same goal, by the way. So I'm with you because I want the real truth. I want you because I want to know real love. So I've got to keep having faith in that goal of knowing you as love and having love with you. Even more than trying to have faith in you and your ego, I need to keep my faith in my goal to love you, my goal to have truth with you. That's where my faith is in. Not trying to put my faith in your ego and your personality. I'm not interested in that because that's not where I'm being told to place my faith. I'm being told to place my faith in the goal of truth. He says the goal establishes the fact that everyone involved in the goal will play their part in its accomplishments. Okay, I'll say that again. How does a loving mind see the situation? Well, when I set a goal from my Holy Spirit, from my loving mind, then the goal that I have is going to establish the fact that everybody's going to play their part to help me accomplish my goal. So I've got to start saying everybody in my life, they're playing their part in helping me give myself what I think I deserve. Everyone in my life is playing their part in helping me receive exactly what I think I deserve. Everyone is playing their part in helping me achieve my goals. If I'm coming from my love mind, no matter what's happening to me, I'll say, everybody involved, they're playing their part in helping me feel this way. Everybody and everything involved are playing their part in the accomplishment of my goal. So the goal establishes that everybody involved, they're going to play their part in helping you accomplish the goal. The truth is, everybody around you, they are playing their part in helping you have the kind of life you want to have. Everybody that's around you, they're helping you to accomplish your goal of attaining exactly the kind of situation that you're in right now. Setting the goal establishes the fact that everyone involved in the goal will play their part in its accomplishment. The Course in Miracles says this is inevitable. What's inevitable? No one will fail in anything. There's nobody in your life that's failing in any way. They are acting out exactly the roles that you want them to play in your life to give you the experience that you're having with them. Everyone that you know, they're playing exactly the role that you want them to play to give you exactly the experience that you want to have. Everybody in your life, they won't fail in anything. Everybody involved in your life, they're playing their part in the accomplishment of your goal. And there are only two goals: the goal of peace or the goal of conflict, the goal of love or the goal of fear. So everything and everybody in my life are helping me achieve my goal. Now, I might have a goal that I didn't know that I had, which might be a goal to hurt myself, or a goal to make myself feel like I'm not enough, or a goal to keep me in some form of fear because of my insecurities. But everybody, they're playing their part in helping me achieve and accomplish my objective. It says this is inevitable. No one will fail. No one will fail in anything. He says nobody failing in anything. It says this seems to ask for faith beyond you. I don't I don't have the faith that everybody's going to play their role in helping me achieve my goal. It looks like this is asking for more faith than I have to give, than to believe that everybody's going to play their part in helping me achieve all of my goals. Believing that every single person is going to play their part in helping me achieve my objective, that seems to be calling for more faith and more belief than I have right now. He says, but that's only from the viewpoint of your ego. It's only from the viewpoint of your fear. It's only from the viewpoint of your unconscious mind that you believe that everybody's not going to play their role in helping you achieve whatever it is that you really want to achieve. But the question is, what do you want to achieve? What is your purpose? Let's loop back to the very beginning. The first thing you must do when you're feeling uncertain is to ask yourself, what is the purpose? What is it for? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning, because that's what's going to determine the outcome. Remember that? And if you don't have a goal and you don't have a purpose, you can't evaluate what's going on correctly, and you will just seem to be one of those people that something is just always happening to all the time, and you don't know why it's happening. But if you have faith in the goal, we were told that then what you need to do if you have faith in the goal is to say to myself, the goal establishes the fact that everybody involved is going to play their part in the accomplishment of my goal. Everybody involved, they're going to play their part in the accomplishment of my goal. All my life, everyone has been playing their part in the accomplishment of my goal. And if my goal was to feel bad or to feel fear or to feel hurt, then everyone in my life perfectly played their role to help me feel that way. And now that I want peace, now that I want love, now that I want sanity, now everyone's going to play their part in helping me achieve the goal of having a loving life and a sane life. Everybody's going to play their part. The ego is the part of us, the fear-based mind, he says, is the part of us that tries to solve conflict through fragmentation and separating everything and everybody off. It's the fear-based mind tries to split off the segments of the situation. In other words, the fear-based mind always wants to deal with each situation separately, because a mind that wants to deal with each situation separately is a mind that doesn't have faith in wholeness and oneness. But if you are going to deal with situations separately, the Course in Miracles told us at the beginning of this section that if you're going to deal with situations separately, then you should apply the truth to each one of those situations separately. In chapter 17, paragraph 6, it says, confronted with any aspect of the situation that seems to be difficult, the ego will attempt to take this difficult aspect elsewhere and resolve it there. And the ego will seem to be successful. The ego will seem to be successful even though it tries to deal with different issues separately, except it may look like it's successful, except that this attempt conflicts with unity and must obscure the goal of truth. So when you are dealing with situations separately and you're not applying the truth to those situations, you may appear to have peace, but it says the peace will not be experienced except in fantasy. You'll have a peace that you can lose. So a fantasy peace is a peace that you could lose. Any peace that you could lose is a fantasy peace. And fantasy peace only happens in situations that you deal with situations separately. You think they just happen to you, and you're not applying the truth to those situations. You will sometimes have the fantasy of peace, but the fantasy of peace is a peace that doesn't last. It says peace will not be experienced except in fantasy. Truth has not come. Why hasn't the truth come? He says, because faith has been denied. Where have you denied your faith? You withheld your faith from the truth and your purpose and your goal, which is where your faith rightfully belongs. And so you lose the understanding of the situation the goal of truth would bring. To say that again, the reason why truth hasn't come in any situation that you're in, the reason why peace hasn't come in any situation that you're in, because the reason why happiness hasn't come in every situation or any situation that you're in is because you're denying faith to the goal. You've lost sight of your purpose, and you're not truly focused in on your purpose. That's why the truth has not come. That's why you're not happy. If you're not happy right now, The reason why is that you are not having faith in the truth. Your focus is not on the truth. You have lost sight of your goal of the truth and God. So truth hasn't come because faith has been denied. That means you are withholding faith from where faith rightfully belongs. And so you lose your understanding of the situation the goal of truth brings. So having a fantasy of an answer, having a fantasy of solution, using fantasy solutions just bring about the illusion of the experience of peace. So when you're using solutions that are not based on the truth, the best thing that can happen is that you have some fantasy that you're feeling peaceful right now. So how do you know that the fantasy of peace is not the real peace? Because fantasy peace never lasts. Peace that's not based on the truth is a peace or happiness that ends, that doesn't last. Any happiness that doesn't last is a fantasy happiness. Any happiness or peace or love that doesn't last is a fantasy peace, a fantasy love, a fantasy happiness. And let me tell you something. The false idea of peace, the illusion of peace, is not the condition in which peace and truth can enter. Real peace, real love, real truth cannot come from you giving yourself a fantasy of truth, a fantasy of peace, and a fantasy of love. So setting the goal is about asking yourself, what is the purpose? What is it for? What is it that I want to come out of this? That's the first thing to ask yourself. And I'm going to do some quick takeaways for this in a moment. I needed to hear this so much right now. Thank you for watching this. If you would like to make a financial expression of appreciation to my teaching ministry, Earl Purdy, just go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, so I can keep on extending out into the world, doing what I do and trying to let the Holy Spirit come through me. earlpurdy.com. Also, I'm available to work with on a one-on-one sessions called clarity sessions, where whatever the situation or circumstance you're in doubt about, that you're going through changes and you're ready to get another way of looking at it and let go of that block, then go to my website and check out the section. It's called Clarity Sessions. It explains exactly what I do, and I'm available to you. So let's get our takeaways. This because it was called Setting the Goal in chapter 17. If it looks, Kathy says, if it looks like love isn't there, it's because you're withholding faith. So that's when you need to remember your goal. Kim says, wow, I don't want a fantasy love. I want everlasting love. And Kathy says, my goal is to experience a loving life. Christopher says, I have faith. Clara says, divine orchestration works miracles for me. Shirley says, I'm not a victim of the world I see. Kim says, my two friends in my life are helping me attain my goals. I have goals. I have the opportunity to make a choice of choosing fear or love. That's right. I've got to set that goal. Elizabeth says, an unlimited buffet. Jody says, my goal is truth. I need to remember my faith. Amen. Amen. So I'm going to finish this up right now. And I'm going to finish this up in a form of repetition, setting the goal. I'm going to finish this up. The most important thing that I think we need to remember is this part right here. Remember, any situation that you go in is just an opportunity to make what you want to happen. You know something? You all so doggone cool. I'm so glad that I have you. I'm so glad we're connected to each other and we're doing this together. And thank you for seeing value in my way of teaching and expressing myself. The Course in Miracles says over and over and over again, it's not about analyzing, it's about remembering. It's not about analyzing the Course, it's about remembering what it's saying. It's not about figuring the Course out, it's about remembering what it's saying and saying it to yourself. The Course in Miracles says that over and over and over again. Don't forget, remember. Don't forget, remember. It never says analyze, analyze, figure it out, analyze, analyze, figure it out, figure it out. It always says don't forget, remember. So my function is to help you and me remember. So that's thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories. So here we go. In any situation in which you are uncertain, in any situation in which you have doubt, in any relationship in which you have doubt, the first thing to consider, the very first thing to consider when you are afraid and in doubt, the very first thing to consider when you are afraid and in doubt, the very first thing to consider is, what do I want to come of this? 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 What is it for? What do I want to come of this? What is this for? What is this for? What is this for? What do I want to come of this? What is it for? I'm in this relationship. What do I want to come of this? What is it for? I'm in a financial bind. What do I want to come of this? What is it for? I have questions about God and my relationship to my true identity, to my Christ consciousness and my spirit self. I ask myself, what do I want to come of this? What is it for? What do I want to come of this? What is it for? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning. The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning. The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning. Clarify your goal at the beginning, and things won't just happen to you. Clarify your goal. How do you clarify your goal? You go, what is the purpose of this? What is it for? What do I want to happen? What do I want to come out of this relationship? And don't forget, there's not but two things that can come out of any situation. There is not but two things that can come out of any relationship, and that is love or fear. There's just two things that can come out of any situation. The content of any situation is just going to be two things: peace or conflict. You're either going to feel innocent in any situation or circumstance, or guilty. You're either going to feel joined and unified in any situation or relationship, or separate and alone. So what do you want to come out of every situation in your life? What is it for? What is it for? I'm in this situation. What's it for? I'm in this situation. What's it for? What am I in this situation for? What am I in this relationship for? What am I in this relationship for? Why am I in this relationship? Why am I in this situation? What do I want to come of this? What is it for? That's setting the goal. I love you, mighty companion, and thank you for coming to Facebook Live. Thank you for watching this over and over again. May the Course be with you. Mwah.